Okay, so, well, hello everyone. This is Curry once again with Cherished Relics Boutique. And today I'm actually very excited to come back on here and do something completely different. This is not a, shop Goodwill bid that I won. This is what I do behind the scenes when I get all this jewelry that I get in bulk, and that I end up quite often with jewelry that is broken or missing pieces and that sort of thing. There's lots of videos I could do, educational videos on different things you do to fix jewelry, repurposing jewelry for different uses than what it was originally meant for. And that's actually going to be what today's video is about. Today, we're actually going to be talking about how we can take some, not all, because you wouldn't want to do it to all, of those pretty single earrings that you end up with, and you can turn them into pendants. And I've done this a few times with some other jewelry that I've got in the past. I've actually shown it on past videos, but I've only shown it briefly. I've not sat and done an entire video on just how to basically convert earrings into pendants. Now today, we're specifically going to be talking about converting ear hook and post back and lever back earrings, basically all pierced earrings that can be turned into pendants, and I'll show you the end products. So yeah, what I typically do is I get jewelry and I sort through. I have this tub that I just keep all my single earrings in, and there's other things in here because it's got other earrings that I'm fixing, but they're not single. And I also have a whole bunch of clip back earrings in here, but I've already removed all of the earrings that are for pierced ears, and that's what's right here. So essentially, I don't keep all the single earrings. If there's single earrings that to me are kind of, to me not worth kind of turning it into a pendant because either they've got show too much wear, the earring does, or maybe it's just maybe not big enough, or it might be an earring that to me really doesn't really quite make a statement like you would want a pendant to. Some earrings are pretty simple and boring, and you can't obviously and wouldn't want to turn every single earring into a pendant. And there actually are some boring and unexciting ones and things that won't work in here as well. That being said, the first thing we're going to talk about today, we'll talk about tools in a little bit, is just sorting through and deciding what is worth actually turning into pendants. And so I'm going to just pour out here a whole bunch of single earrings that I've collected that some to me are worth it, some are not. Real quick, before I get started, I want to tell a really silly, funny story. I think the last video I did, or maybe it was 2 videos ago, I had done a mystery bag from a local thrift store, and I think it was part 2 of this mystery bag that I ended up coming across lots of watches in the mystery bag, but I came across this in particular Bulova watch that on my video, if any of you had seen it, you saw me go, oh, well, this is an older watch, definitely vintage. I don't exactly know how old, but definitely vintage. In my video, you see me, try to twist it because it is a mechanical watch. It does not require a battery or anything like that. But on my video, you would have seen me twist it, and I was twisting it this way. In the video, I was showing this watch, and the second hand would move for like 5 seconds and then stop, and then move for like 5 seconds and then stop. And I was kind of baffled by it. I was like, why is it doing that? And I had twisted it the whole way from everything that I could tell. And I was like, oh, well, obviously, that's probably why it's in this, was given to a thrift store because it's probably broken. At the time, I had decided I was just going to put it in a wearable lot. And so I put it in there and moved on to other things and hadn't thought about it. And I got this comment from one of my viewers about how she said, hey, by the way, that Bulova watch that you had pulled out, I think you were twisting it the wrong way. This way. Like I'm coming around this way. But this watch clearly needed to be twisted this way because after I saw her message and I wrote her back, I go, well, let me go pull that thing out and just see. And sure enough, I pulled it out and I twisted it. And that was yesterday. And I set the time, and I didn't even wear it yesterday, but I pulled it out today to wear it. And the time was exactly right. So I don't know how often you have to twist a Bulova watch, a vintage one like this. Gone at least 24 hours. So anyways, I just want to say thank you to that viewer. I don't want to call their name out specifically because I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. I don't know that they'd want me to give that information out, but you know who you are. And I wanted to just say thank you again. I have other mechanical watches. My husband has a mechanical watch. My son has a mechanical watch, like older vintage ones. But for some reason that day, it just didn't dawn on me. I don't know. And it was clicking the other way when I was twisting it. So I don't know. My brain was just having a brain fart, obviously, and not working to its full potential. And so I really appreciate the one user writing me to sort of set me straight, because obviously I would have just sent this off in a wearable lot and I never would have known. But I really liked it. So I was happy to find this out. So you can see it's working. I swear, people back, a while, they were just so teeny and small. This watch band, and I have a little wrist, is on the very last hole there to put the watch on with. It's crazy. So anyways, just funny story I thought I'd share with you. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I've poured out these single earrings that I told you that I, just randomly collect from, the jewelry that I get. I just want to go through here and kind of give you sort of kind of the talk that I put in my head as I go through jewelry to try to decide, what I would do or what I wouldn't. Now, let me tell you, I can convert a post back earring. I can show you a way that we can do that into a pendant. I can also convert a hook, just an ear hook earring very easily. And I can also convert a lever back earring, and I don't actually see a lever back in here at this moment, but let me pull one out of here so you know what a lever back looks like. Okay, so this is an example of a lever back earring. Okay, all right, so really what I think about is if I want to turn something into a pendant, I want it to make a statement. I want it to be something that's unique and different, and maybe not, the status quo that everyone would have. I want it to be a conversation piece. I want people to notice it. And so if I have earrings that either are too small or just too standard, like there's nothing about them that's that, wow, those are ones that I would not consider. Here's a simple dangle earring. It's got a glass bead on it, which, since it is a single earring, I probably would harvest that glass bead and then just take the rest and put it in scrap, because I do use glass beads. Now, if it was a plastic bead, I wouldn't keep it. I just put the whole thing in my craft scrap lot. But since this is a glass bead, it is cold, I would save that and put it on. But this is an example of something that I wouldn't take the time to turn into a pendant. Another thing I probably wouldn't turn into a pendant would be something like this, because, I could turn it into a pendant and it could look like a very small kind of solitaire thing. But like this particular earring looks like it's sort of cheaply made. Like even the prong setting is not massively high quality. None of these right here are sterling silver. Okay. So, also I know as I look at this that it's not actually even and symmetrical. So if it's not going to be something that can sit evenly right on someone's, around someone's neck, right on their, right below their, collarbone, like where necklaces lay, you want your pendants to be able to lay flat so that people can, admire them and look at them. So that's something that I would probably not use. This looks like, actually, it wasn't an earring. It was just a leftover piece from a piece of jewelry. It says Chico's. I could easily turn that into a pendant because there is actually a little bit ring there that I could put a jump ring on and then just do it. It's got a little moon glow stone on there. It is not cat's eye. It's kind of that moon glow stone, a plasticky thing, but it's just not extraordinary to me. I want things to be impactful. Here's another earring that's sort of interesting. It definitely is big enough to be a pendant. You can see it's got 3 different oval rings that make up that earring, and some have textures on it and that sort of thing. This is a possible consideration as like a maybe. Like I kind of think that's nice. And I think that could be nice as a pendant. So I'm going to just set that in a different pile. I'm making 2 different piles. The no, the maybe. Actually, I'll make 3 different piles, and the yeses. So here I'm putting up in this corner no's. Here in the middle, I'm putting maybes. And then here in the left, I'm going to do yeses. Okay, here's something that's an example of something that there's no question that it's a yes for me. This is obviously a really beautiful earring that was made with seed beads, very, Aztec or very Native American style, earring. There's nothing wrong with it currently. It just only has 1. I'm going to talk later about how to convert these, but this is something that could make a statement as a pendant. I think would be beautiful. So that's an absolute yes. Okay, here's an example of an earring that is actually big enough. It could be a pendant, but to me, it's very cheaply made. It's very light. It's sort of plasticky. To be honest, I don't even think that this is metal right here. I think it's plastic. Oh, it might be metal because it sounds it, but it definitely is. It just feels really kind of cheaply made. So I'm going to say no for that for now. I mean, no. Okay, here's another earring that I probably would just harvest the glass stones. Although that's pretty, I'm looking for something to be a little bit more significant as a pendant. Here is an example that is similar in size to this in terms of if you had it as a pendant. But this one on the left is just way more interesting. I do believe this is actually a crystal. It is really, really heavy earring that I had already taken off the earring part. But look at the very pretty kind of, even the metal piece here that has, that it's hanging from, that has some, I don't know if you'd call that etching or whatever, some floral kind of etching in there. So this to me would make a statement and is totally worth turning into a pendant. So that's an absolute yes. Very unique. Okay, here's another item that I know from afar looks very similar to the concept of this one. But this one seems very cheapy to me, just everything about it. This one is actually quite heavy. It is not sterling silver, but it's got some movement to it. It has all of these sort of hammered, graduating, getting larger and then getting smaller sort of things that hang down. And I could easily turn that into a pendant. And even as I noticed more, the front side you could have as sort of the shiny option for the pendant, but then you can turn it over and it looks exactly the same if you wanted to wear more of a, matted kind of silver tone. So to me, that's a no question yes, absolutely. Okay, here's an example of a really nice earring that I would turn into a pendant. This is a cloisonne enameled earring with some really pretty colors in it. That's a definite yes. So this I realize can look similar to this one, but this particular one, it's going to be a no for me because actually the attachment of this earring is not one that can be easily turned into a pendant. This does have, I do believe this is rose quartz. It's cold. So I would probably maybe harvest some of those semi-precious stones on here. I've already tested this. This is not sterling silver. So the rest of those beads and things I would probably just put into a scrap craft lot. So I'm going to put that over with no. Okay. So here's an example of an earring that I realize there's not much going on to it. But as I hold it in my hand, it's very heavy. If you look closely on this sort of sun sort of shaped earring, the little parts that, stick out, these little triangles, actually have a little bit of texture to them. I don't know if you can see that here. There you go. You can see it now, which adds a little bit of interest to the earring. And this earring is actually, I guess, an Anne Klein earring that can easily be converted into a very simple pendant. Sometimes people like simple stated pendants. Here is an example of something that I turned into a pendant previously. It was, in fact, an earring that used to attach here. This is sterling silver. And I'm going to tell you as I explain later, but when I put things onto these items to make them functional as pendants, like this is a sterling silver earring. So I purchased a glue-on bail that was also sterling silver so that when I sell that, it can be, the whole piece is considered sterling silver. It's kind of at that level. This one is just costume jewelry. I would not put sterling silver onto here as a bail, but I have other bail options and other ways that I could make this functional. So I'm going to put that in a yes. Okay, another one that, it is not something that I would put into. This one just seems to be, already damaged, post-back earring. I would not turn that into a pendant. I probably wouldn't turn that into a pendant because I could just find some prettier other ones. It's okay, but I'm just going to stick that in craft lot. Although this is very pretty, it's a glass square. I just don't think it's big enough to really be a pendant. Here we have just a little, appears to be some sort of churchy, I don't know. I'm so blind, and this thing can be so, I just have to get my loupe. When I'm sitting here and recording, I'm actually sitting kind of off to the side, so I'm not looking directly at my iPad. And so I kind of get a view on my iPad that's very disorienting. So I'm not looking straight down onto my iPad, which is what I'm recording on. So sometimes I can't really view things very well by looking on there. Or just MMA 1971. It's not really terribly clear. That might have meaning for someone else, but I'm just going to put that in scrap. This was just a little ring of an earring, kind of. I just don't think it's significant enough, so that's a no. Okay. Here's an example of one that's quite pretty. This is a post-back, vintagey kind of earring. It's pretty. It's prong set, but it's not the highest quality. I mean, I definitely have had other rhinestones that are, I believe this is plastic in here. And, for me, personally, I probably wouldn't take the time to turn this into a pendant, although it is quite pretty by looking at it. But if this, let's say, if this was a glass stone in the middle and, I don't know, that even if it was just a glass stone, it might change my mind. But the fact that that's plastic leaves me at, that's kind of a maybe kind of thing. Okay, here's something that used to be an earring that already has the ear spike that's been taken off of it. I shouldn't say just because things are plastic, I wouldn't do it because, this one actually, these 3 stones here are plastic. But I don't know, something about it, that sort of chandelier effect kind of makes the cut for me as something that I'd be willing to, throw a real quick, a jump ring on it and turn it into a pendant very simply. Okay. Okay, so this is like a brass textured, as you can see, flower. I really like it. It's really cool. And although it's pretty light, I just think it would be really cool as a pendant. It definitely needs to be cleaned up first. So between now and when, I finish this video, I'll take something that I use often to clean up, like brass and things is, this polishing cream. I just put it on a little piece of, cloth and rub it, and it would get super clean. So I'll come back later and show you that clean, but I'm going to put that in the yes pile. Okay, so here's a little kind of jeweled, they are glass beads, not prong set, but it was a post back. It's okay. It doesn't even have any Aurora Borealis coating on it. It's just plain clear. They're all the same shape. It just doesn't have any pop to me. So this is sort of more like a maybe. Okay, so here's a post back earring that's enameled and has some really nice texture. It's really heavy. It doesn't actually have a brand in it, but I just think it's kind of unique. And personally, I think it could be a really nice pendant. So because I think it's kind of cool, I'm going to put it in a yes. I'm right on the fence, though, because there has been a little bit of wear here that's just slightly taking away some of that gold. I don't know. I'm going to put it in a yes because I just think it could be cool. Okay, so this seems to be, it might be from Mexico. Maybe this is from Mexico. Is it some sort of Mexican 10-cent coin? I honestly don't know, but it looks like Spanish. Espana. I don't know. I don't speak Spanish, but I'll have to look it up. But that seems like an authentic coin. Very cool. Don't know if it's an older one or anything. I probably wouldn't include this in my pendant, but I might include something else. But I think this as a pendant could be quite cool and unique and different. So I'm going to put that in yes. Okay, so this is really quite pretty. This is a single post back earring that had some rhinestones in it. You can see though here that it's already missing a few. Yes, I could go back in and I could glue in those rhinestones. And it looks like it's only missing 2 right there and there. So it's possible I could go in. If I was looking at the same earring and all of these stones were starting to yellow underneath because the glue shows through over time, then this would be a definite no. But because this is still sort of somewhat clean and it's a simple repair, I'm going to put this in the maybe pile as something that maybe I would consider. I've already taken off the hook on this, but these were a pair of Harley Davidson earrings that were pretty cool. That's an absolute 100% yes. I mean, this is something that's unique and different and would make an awesome pendant. Okay, so this is sort of an enameled flower here. It's just a simple earring. No brand on it. It is a little bit heavy, but it's hard for you to see. I can see that it's had just a little bit of wear on top of the enamel, that it wouldn't look amazing. It'd be okay. I don't know. That's sort of a maybe. I probably wouldn't. Okay, I think this was already a pendant, to be honest. I don't know where the necklace is because the back of it has one of these clip-on things that you can take off, clip on and clip off. But I think it would be something that would go onto a much more significant chain. So that actually doesn't even need to be done. I think that already is one. But you see how the heaviness of that, that's why I think this one could work, because it sort of has that look to it. Okay. Here's another post-back vintage earring that's actually pretty cool. It is prong set. This, again, is a plastic stone. I'm not saying that if someone else who sees this video and wants to go and, that it's a bad thing to take an earring like this and to, turn it into a pendant. It can work great and be perfect for whoever wants that look. I'm thinking more from a reseller standpoint in the value of my time, and I have to pick and choose my time. And, and if this isn't a glass stone, to me, it's not as likely to sell. If I had all the time in the world, this is something that I might do, but it's definitely big enough. It's pretty. It catches the eye, but I'm kind of looking for more of something that makes more of a statement. Okay, so that being said, here was my yes pile. Here's my maybe pile. Here's my no pile. So I'm going to take this no pile and maybe pile and put it off to the side because we're not going to talk about it right now. And show you some of the things that I do to prep this to turn into, you know, pendants. So on any of the ones that I have that were, you know, post back, you have to have like, you know, one of these, you know, tools where they're meant to snip things off. It's like, you know, that's what it's meant to. It's meant for jewelry for doing just this exact thing. So as you see, I just snip that off. I'll throw that other thing away. And as I look more and more at this, I definitely would want to try to add some sort of, you know, more gold here. I'm not, although I love it, I think the wear is making me question whether this is the right decision on this one. Not because I don't love the style of it, but I just think the wear may not work. But anyways, it still doesn't change. That's how I snip off all those post backs. And then, like I said earlier, what I do right now, although it's been snipped fairly closely, as you can see here, it's snipped pretty closely, but it's, to my finger, it's a little bit rough, and this is going to lay right on someone's, you know, right by their collarbone. It's not going to feel good to be scratchy. So what I do is that, like I have a nail file here, is I'll go back, and that sticks up a little bit there, so it's not like I'm scratching on the rest of the jewelry. And I'm just going to sit here and just sort of file that part that sticks up that used to have the post back attached. And it's already getting more and more smooth. And like I said, I can go back in if I wanted and add, you know, some little touch-up paint or whatever. But now that's really smooth. And like if it wouldn't hurt or bug anybody if it was, you know, rubbing on their chest. So that's an example of something I do here. I have another kind of file thing here if I needed to, you know, this is actually something that you use to, I guess it's called reaming. Maybe that's the wrong word. When you have pearls that or beads that need to get the hole made bigger, that's what this tool is for. But then the lower part of it I can use to, you know, kind of file things down as well. So let me go ahead and keep prepping some of these others. So right now, all I'm doing is I'm grabbing all the ones that are post back. I'm coming down as close to the bottom as I can. And then I'm just clipping that off. And then I'm going to sand it. Again, that part sticks up. And I'm not going to take the time to completely prep all of these because I won't get through. But anyways, so that's how I would prep the post back. So I'm going to move on. This one's already ready. This one's already ready. Okay, so let's talk about some of these. I obviously am going to take my cleaner and clean that up, but I need to take off this ear spike. And the way you take off these ear spikes, there's a very specific way that you do it so that you don't ruin it. Like this ear spike could be used again for something else. So I just hold the ear spike in one hand. And the way you do it so that you don't basically disfigure the way that that rounded part's supposed to be, actually I think it opens on this side, is you clip onto it and you turn it to the side because you want to keep it so that it can stay round for when I want to potentially use it again. And so now it's very easy for me to go in here and just slide it back, and it's maintained its shape, or the shape that it was. I have a place that I just go and store all of, like, this is a non-precious metal ear spike, but I also have like sterling silver ear spikes, and I try to, you know, set them off to the side and keep them separated. So I would go in here. I'm not going to show all of them to you because this video will go on forever, but here's another one that I'm just going to grab. I'm going to hold the ear spike, and just like I said, I'm only grabbing the bottom part of the ear spike, and I'm turning to the side. I hope that's focused for you, so that I can just pull that off and then for me, I'm going to push it back because I don't want that ball to somehow come out. Okay, so I'm not going to do all of them now, but there's a couple more, several more that were, you know, the hooks here, but that's how I would change all those. Okay, I'm going to just put those off to the side. I actually may do this one because this might be an example of one that I do for you. So I am going to do this one. So again, I take it. I grab with my little pliers there, and I pull to the side. I pull out my, I had to go a little further. Oh no, look what happened. So I obviously pulled with a little bit too much might, which is not a problem. I'll just put that in scrap. But I didn't damage this part, so this part I'll just still set to the side. And now we got all the earrings ready. Actually, I didn't finish these because, let me go ahead and finish these. It just may not be, it may get edited in the end. This one's already ready. This one's already ready. This one's already ready. This is the only other one I need to pull off the thing from. It's hard to grab this because it's sort of really tight in between the coin in there. But you see, it's just, someone had obviously gone in and just put a hole through the coin. That's cool. But you see, this I could use for something else, or I could harvest the actual stone. Okay. I'm going to put that back there. Okay, so now I have prepped all of these items. Oh my gosh, there's so many pretty ones. Well, maybe what I'll do is not on camera, but I'll go in and I'll go ahead and get all these turned into pendants, and at the end I can come back and actually show them all to you. I'm going to show you how I actually do a couple, but I don't have time to show them all to you. And at the end I'll have come back and I'll do them all, and I can show you all of them when they're finished. So since I've been off video, I went and you know, I have a whole bunch of different jump rings and different sizes, little ones, you know. It's not just the distance around the jump ring, but it's also the thickness of the jumping ring that matters, because, you know, it has to fit into different size pieces on the jewelry item that you're working on. And you also want to have jump rings that aren't like really, really flimsy, so that when you open them, they like open super easy, because then they're going to like come off easy if the necklace gets pulled. But anyways, that being said, I laid out some different size jump rings that I'm going to slide on these for you very quickly, and we'll be done with that. But before I do that, I had mentioned, you know, that I use this polish to help clean, you know, brass and things. And I just want to show you how amazing of a job this will do. It will look like a completely different thing. So I'm just going to shine it up here for you. I'm going to work on the front and the back. And it's okay. I want it to look antiqued, you know, so it doesn't have to be like perfectly clean, but it's going to blow you away how clean this will get it. And I'm not putting that much muscle behind this right now. You can see the, you know, tarnish and things that are coming off on my rag. Now I could probably spend even more time on this, but obviously I don't want to take forever, but I just wanted to be able to show you kind of the before and after of a quick, you know, 2-minute cleaning. Completely transforms it. I'm sure I could clean it even more, but isn't that unbelievable? So there you have it. You do want to wear gloves with that because it's chemicals and things like that. But yeah, that being said, it's almost like too brassy. The thing I have is like too gold for it. But anyhow, let me go ahead and show you that. But look at it, still got the pretty texture and everything. There you go. Pretty nice, huh? Okay. So just very quickly, I'm just going to pop these jump rings on these. And at the end, I'll put them on some necklaces so you can see. So here I have the jump ring has already been opened here. Sometimes when you get jump rings, usually they're already flat, but I had already previously opened this from using it on another item. So it was already open. But remember, you always want to remember with the jump rings that you want to push it to the side and then push it back so that it stays round. Okay, so I've put it on there. This is considered a flat nose plier on my right hand. Anyway, so let me show you here. I've got it hanging on there. And all I'm going to do is twist it back together. But if it's still like not perfectly straight like there, you can see it's a little uneven. Since this is flat, I can take it and just mush it and it will make them both the same. And I want this to be closed really well because a chain's going to be sliding up and down on it. That looks pretty even. Let me show you with this one. Here is an example of a jump ring. That's actually bigger around than this jump ring, but it's not as thick, which means it can come undone easier, first of all. You know, and I want to have a really good solid, you know. Now, see, I can push this even with my fingers so easily. And I don't want to use those really skinny ones for that reason. So this one's a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to open it up. Okay, so I've opened that jump ring. It's the thicker one. And I don't know, maybe later I can worry about adding something else, but as of right now, I'm just going to make it the coin itself. So again, I hold it with each side. And all I'm doing is bringing it back together. Okay, so there we go. We'll be able to put that on a chain. Let's do this one. Twist it to the side. Put on your item. Twist it back. Okay. Those are done. Okay, I tried to find a more of a steel looking sort of gunmetal one, looking for this one. So I still need the teeniest bit. There we go. But I usually try to mush it down. Now I don't want to mush it this way because this thing is not round and it might deform the circle shape, but I can do it from this angle to help. Okay, that one's ready. And again, the angle in which the necklace lays with the jump ring, and then I put the necklace on, it will lay in the right direction, so it will lay flat. It's hard to look in my iPad to do this because normally I just want to look at the thing. But I've got to make it lined up so you can see it too. So it's not like natural for me to do that. Okay, so anyways, there we go. Done. Got this little one. Okay. Okay, that one looks good. You see, I'm not like an amazing jewelry maker where this is my thing. I can make jewelry, but some people do it like for a living making jewelry, and they're very fast. And they could probably zip through this. What takes me an hour, they could probably do in 15 minutes. And then bringing them back together. Okay, I guess that's good enough. Okay, so for all those kind of less expensive ones, they're done there. I just have the only one left. Well, there's two left. And this one's going to be a very unique way that I make a bail. I'm going to kind of create a bail out of a back. And this is just a gold tone back. Because on this one, I actually had a glue-on bail that was sterling silver that, you know, could look good for that. I don't actually have a gold tone bill, and I'm not going to put any sort of sterling silver or obviously not a gold one on it, but I'll show you how I do that. But real quick, let me put this jump ring on this Native American one real quick. No, it's fine. Okay. So these little jump rings are so small. If I don't put them away, right away, they'll just fall all over the place, you know? Okay, so this is what I learned about a great idea. First of all, when I get done, I'm going to take a paint pen and just dab it right there where I had cut off, because this is just costume jewelry. This is not a, you know, sterling silver or anything. You know, what's underneath this gold is just, you know, different metals that obviously aren't going to match what the outside is. So, you know, I'm not going to do it now because I'm going to rub it off, but I'll dab some gold paint on there just to make that look a little better. And although the upright for this is like this, where you'd think I'd put a bail here, this is in my way. So I'm actually going to put the bail here, and it's just going to be upside down. But that's okay. That's the whole point of the fact that I'm going to disclose, you know, if I list this, that I've done this. So what you do is you take a back, okay? Get a clean back, obviously. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the smallest round nose pliers you have. And I essentially want to just twist this out. See how I've done that? And I'm going to do the same to this other side. That. I'm going to bring these back together to make it have one complete loop. I'm going to flatten this out a little bit up here because I want to bring it in and have it go all the way across. going to use my flat nose ones because I want these to be flat when I bring them together. And I can even just use my finger once I get that spread out to bring them together. So with the work of flat nose pliers as well as round nose pliers, you can eventually get to something like that, which is going to be our bail. Okay, so that's what I end up with, something like that. I know that's not perfect, but it's good enough. And then what I want when I put this down on here, because I am going to glue it down, is the part of this that I created that's under the other one. Like this piece is under that piece, so this is the one that I want to be at the top where the necklace goes on. Because if I put the necklace on this one, on the piece that goes above, then the necklace can pull at that and pull it open, which is not what we want. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to be gluing it onto it where this one is towards the top. So like I said, I'm going to do this upside down, and it's going to get glued, you know, like that. And I use a glue that's called E6000. It works really well. Now, E6000 is just a type of glue that could be used. It's certainly not the only type. It's just something I prefer using because I'm familiar with it. But I'm sure you could use other, you know, metal jewelry glues or, you know, but we just want to put, you know, just like a good solid lump right there, and about the size of the earring. So it has enough to hold it. See how much I put? Okay. I'm going to take this and place it, and I'm going to mush it down so it really gets in the grooves, because the jewelry that we're working with has grooves too. So we really want to work it in there and get it straight. Okay, so anyways, I'll just let that dry. And of course, we've created a bail. So it can sit nice and, you know, and it doesn't stick out too much that it would irritate, you know, as it lays against your body there to wear that. So anyways, we'll let that dry. And I'm just going to put all these on chains so you can see how they look. So I'll see you back in a few minutes. Okay, so there you have it. There are all those pendants that I just made out of all the items. But don't they look fantastic? And I just went and picked out a whole bunch of chains, different style chains that I have, my own personal ones, just to put on here so you could see. The only one in here that you did not see was this one, because this is one I had made previously, where it has a back glued down, like what I had showed you, what I did with the gold one. That's, I believe that's probably hematite on there. But I thought it was worth showing you that. And then, of course, this one turned out great. Good. It's just created with that back glued down. You know, it functions just fine. But I think it's pretty cool pendant. Yeah, so I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me what you think. Thanks for joining me. I hope that was fun and helpful. I am not a jeweler. So for all those jewelers out there who watch my video and laugh at me trying to deal with the, you know, plier tools and dropping the jump rings all over the place and not being confident in how I tighten them up, you know, just bear with me. But But the point of that is to say, you know what? You don't have to be a jeweler to make pretty jewelry out of things that we thought were, I mean, they were lonely singles. They were going to get put in, they were not going to get worn. So now look at these beautiful things that get to be worn. And we'll see you on the next one, which will be the sterling silver finger earring pendants. Have a great night. Bye.